You love werewolves? You love Talisman? Hoo-hoo-hoo! This could be the expansion for you. Hello, welcome to the Bottled Imp. My name is Ken Boyter and this is a fancy review show. Yes, I managed to say review. Anyway, so today we are going to be looking at an expansion for the 4th edition of Talisman, and this one is the Blood Moon, and as you can tell, it's got a werewolf in it. Yes. Let's take a look. Okay, so let's take a look at what you get in the box. Now I just want to point out the box is really nicely designed. It's very small, it's very compact, but you get loads of components in that small box. They've done a fantastic job, and I just want to point out that the quality of the components is really top notch, as you'd expect. So this is the Blood Moon, and as you can imagine, you're going to be getting a werewolf, and there he is. You get a little figure and you get the card to go with the werewolf, and that explains how the werewolf works. You also get 3 new characters. Yes, more characters for your base game. You get the Doomslayer. You also get, I don't know why I'm doing these in funny voices. You get the Grave Robber. Bit grim. You also get the the Vampire Hunter. So really cool character cards, and of course you get each of the figures. I'm just going to point out, I do paint the figures. You do get them as they're grey, so you can paint them. You also get a few extra things here. You get 3 alternate ending cards, and we'll go into detail about what they are. You also get a time card, which is fantastic, and that is double-sided, and we'll go into that. You also get Lenthropic cards, which are these. You also get 111 new adventure cards, and you also get 10 spell cards. Now the spell cards and the adventure cards are exactly the same way of the base game, where you shuffle them into those existing base adventure and spell cards. So you just get new ones. You get different ones to keep those fresh. And basically, the other cool thing that they've done here is, have they got it in? Yeah. Everything to do with the Blood Moon expansion, they have, let me fold this up so you can see it better. They've put a little symbol, a little werewolf symbol on each component, each card, so that you know that it's come from the Blood Moon expansion. So obviously you might mix everything in, and then maybe for some reason you don't want to play with that expansion. You can then go through everything and take everything out again, and that's a really, that's a nice touch. So let's start delving into the mechanics. Now, basically, the werewolf is out to get you. That's the basic premise of this expansion, and it is like the Reaper. So if you have watched our review on the Reaper expansion, it works pretty much similarly. So it's all revolving. Can't talk. It's all revolving around rolling dice and movement. So I'm a character. Let's say I'm the Vampire Hunter. It's my go. I roll the dice, and in this case I got a 4. But let's say I rolled a 1. Now, in the rules, I believe it's a 1 to move the werewolf. And what happens is, I then normally take my go. I will then move, so it'd be 1, and then I resolve whatever that square is. So in this case, I could fight another character, or I could try and challenge the Sentinel to go up to the next level, or I could draw a card. Whatever way you're going and whichever square you go into, in whichever region, you will then resolve that as per normal. But you then get to roll another dice, and this is for the werewolf. And this is where the fun kicks in. You roll the dice. Say you get a 3, for example. Now that means I can actually move the werewolf onto another character. And when they move onto that character then has to roll a dice. So I did say there was a lot of dice rolling in this little mechanic. So they would roll a dice. And whatever the result was, in this case it was a 5, You would then look on the chart and then you would read out what that consequence was. Now, as with most die roll with Talisman, the higher the dice roll, the better outcome it is for the character. So they've done a nice job of balancing that out. I'm just going to talk briefly then about this time card. Now, this time card adds an extra layer. What happens here is there's now daytime and there's now nighttime. And this is quite a nice mechanic because basically all creatures, if it's daytime, are -1 attack roll. So they become slightly weaker. If it's nighttime, they get a +1 in their attack roll. So when you're fighting them, they are slightly stronger. So that adds a little extra spice. Now, how it becomes day and night is a nice mechanic. In the adventure deck, base and the new expansion, I can't find one now. Yeah, when there's a place, no, sorry, it's an event. When there's an event, it flips over. So if you pick an adventure card and it becomes an event, you would flip it to nighttime. If the next event happens, and a couple of rounds go past, or even 6, 7, 8, 9, however many adventure cards get picked, the next event will flip it back over. So obviously, in the course of a game, it can be flipped loads of times. There is another element to that, and that's Lunar Events. And what happens is that's the new cards, and if it's a lunar event, then they stay for the duration of that time. So that event will stay as a constant effect. If it's daytime, it will happen at daytime. If it's nighttime, it will happen until it is flipped. Then it gets discarded. So again, that's a really nice little extra, adds a bit more spice, as I say. The other thing I'm just going to explain here is the Lenthropic cards. These are brand new cards for this expansion, obviously, and it's all to do with the werewolf chart. If you roll a 1 and you haven't got any fate, because again, remember your fate tokens you can re-roll, and obviously they're very handy, but if you haven't got any fate, or indeed you do roll a fate and you get a 1, you will then become Lenthropic, and that basically means you are a werewolf, so to speak. And that has various perks. It has a few perks and a few downsides. I'm not going to go through that. I don't want to spoil exactly what they are. But basically, if it's nighttime, you get perks. If it's daytime, those perks don't exist. So again, that's a really nice little touch. You also get these alternate ending cards. Now, obviously, the base game, you will just be playing for the Crown of Command, and you will be following the rules for the base game of how to win the game. What they do here is they introduce an element of surprise. You can play it where you choose one of these cards, a face up, and you would know exactly what it is. In fact, I believe it's the light bearers? Yeah, the light bearers. I might be wrong on that, or you can play a random alternate ending, and you won't know. You shuffle them and you won't know what ending you're going to get. Now, I won't go through them all because, again, I don't want you to spoil them, but you do get a werewolf. You also, no, there's one that's really evil, and you don't want that one. But again, that just keeps things fresh. It keeps things spiced up. And with the characters, they're exactly the same like the base ones. You do get your little special abilities, and they're really cool. And that is basically the Blood Moon expansion. It's a beautiful little mini expansion. So if you're thinking, wow, there's so many of these expansions for Talisman. So if you buy, if you're thinking to buying the base game, you're thinking, should I buy all the expansions as well? Well, I possibly would save you money at this stage, because you might buy the base game. You might not like Talisman. You probably will. But I would say if you're going to buy an expansion, I would say these two are a good starter expansion. We've got the Reaper, and if you haven't watched our review on the Reaper, check that out. But there's also the Blood Moon, and either of these would be a good start. The Reaper is slightly less complicated. You don't get any alternate ending cards, and there isn't the time card here, so you may want to consider that one because it's very similar. You just move the Reaper instead of the Werewolf, and then there's consequences. I love this. So I actually think that we always play with the Reaper and always play with the Werewolf. Now there's a little house rule that we've changed it to a 6. Instead of a 1, you roll a 6, just so it's different. So you roll a 1, it's the Reaper. You roll a 6, it's the Werewolf. So they're good companion expansions to get. So you might even want to consider, just if you want to buy an expansion with the base game, you buy both of those, because it will add just that extra layer to your gaming play. And the nice thing about it adds in more interaction between the characters, because you can start sort of saying, oh, what, don't move the Werewolf onto me, because I won't move it onto you. You could start doing little deals like that if you want, and it just adds that little extra of interaction between the players. So I yes, loved it. The components are good quality, the illustrations are beautiful. So there we go. That is the Blood Moon expansion. Enjoy. Thank you so much for watching that review of the Blood Moon expansion for Talisman. And if you haven't done so already, please check out our base game review of Talisman. And also, we have done the Reaper expansion review as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. There's another bit of news here actually. This is the last review that we are doing at Imp Towers here. I'm actually moving house. We don't know where we're going yet, so it could be a castle, it could be a swamp, it could be a wood, it could be a haunted glade. Who knows? But yeah, so it's exciting for us. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. For those of you who have subscribed, we'll edit that out, won't we? No? Okay. For those of you that subscribed, thank you for subscribing. Yes, please follow us on Facebook, and also you can follow us at the Bottled Imp on Twitter. Please like the videos, and also, as in, click on the computer. You don't have to like the actual videos, but I hope you do. Please leave any comments. It'd be good to know what you think. And we will be reviewing the copious amounts of other expansions that you can get for Talisman. So we're excited about those. Take care. That was my voice.